Quick ways to boost your confidence. Want to raise your confidence and raise your game? It takes a long time to address the kinds of deep-seated insecurities that lead to chronic low esteem. But that said, there are some things that you can do right now that will have short-term and immediate benefits to raise your confidence. Let's take a look at some of the best. Adopt a power position. Using larger body language exhibits more confidence, but it also actually triggers the release of testosterone and other chemicals that make you feel more assertive, aggressive, and successful. Remember something you did well. Think about the last time you absolutely killed it and try to remember that occasion. Now live in that moment for a while and let it psych you up into the same mental state you experienced the first time round. Work out. Work out makes us more confident in a whole ton of different ways. Not only does working out trigger the release of adrenaline, testosterone, and more hormones that boost confidence, but it also makes us feel good because we've done something productive. Which leads us to the next point. Do something productive. Just doing something quickly that will offer a quick win is a great way to raise confidence too. Make the bed, tidy the kitchen, shoot off a quick email, get something done and feel good about it. Listen to some music. There are a lot of music tracks out there that are built around raising your confidence and self-esteem. Might I suggest some tracks by the artist Stan Bush, which are all about killing it. Spend time with friends. If you have just a little bit of time to build your confidence, then try spending some time with friends or a partner, anyone who makes you feel good about yourself. As a side note, you need more of these kinds of people in your life and fewer of the ones that make you feel worthless. Do something scary. Even better than quickly doing something productive is to quickly do something that you're normally afraid to do. This is an even more powerful quick win. It could mean that you give a talk in public or that you attempt a backflip. Facing fears ultimately diminishes them. Finally, fix up your look. The way we look has a big impact on the way we feel. Fix up your outfit. Get a haircut or have a shave. Feel like $1,000,000. 3 things you're doing that damage your confidence. A lot of people have problems with their self-confidence and don't feel quite as pleased about who they are as maybe they should. We've all had those days where we feel a bit worthless, and we've all had interactions with people where we felt like we don't belong or weren't as impressive somehow as the others in the group. And often we feel like victims for this reason. We feel as though we've been dealt a bad hand to have such low self-esteem. But guess what? You might also be somewhat responsible. Not only is it your responsibility to dig yourself out of that pit, but you might also be the one who put yourself there in the first place. In this presentation, we'll cover 3 things that you're doing that damage your self-esteem. Replaying uncomfortable experiences. When someone says something cruel about you, how do you react? Many of us respond by replaying what they've said in our heads over and over again. And we do the same thing when we trip over and embarrass ourselves in public. And we do the same thing when we've had a bad date or a bad interview. You get the point. While it's useful to replay these events to look for things we could do better, it becomes destructive if we do this over and over, and you end up cementing certain neural pathways. So, have a debrief, then move on. Being too polite and humble. It's nice to be polite and humble to some extent, but there becomes a point where it actually just amounts to putting yourself down. If you're constantly humble, then you are positioning yourself below others, and eventually you start to believe that's where you should be, and so do other people. Playing it safe. Essentially, a lack of confidence comes down to fear. Usually, this means a fear of getting it wrong. The only way to get over that fear is to prove to yourself that it's unfounded. How? By facing that fear. And that means getting out of your comfort zone and taking risks. If you're shy of social situations, then put yourself out there and speak to people. If you're unconfident in doing DIY, then grab that drill and start getting to work. This takes courage. And ultimately, courage is the #1 tool for vanquishing a lack of confidence.